Just look at these fabulous buttons. Have you ever wanted to design your own buttons for fun or profit? This is an excellent way to advertise your business, to give as a party favor, to use as a thank you, or just to put a positive message on it and inspire other people. I use these buttons as gifts for my daughter. I advertised one with myself on it. The ideas are endless. I recently purchased the TechRay American-made button maker. I am not promoting them. I had searched the internet high and low, and out of all of the reviews, this one had the best review, and I needed to find out myself. So I purchased it, and I absolutely love it. So in this video, I will show you the easiest way to create your buttons, how to package them, and get you started on a button making frenzy. After you purchase your button maker, you will need a coordinating size paper punch. Mine is 1.629 paper punch. You will need scrapbook paper, images, circle stencil, glue stick, cellophane, baggies, scissors, a thank you stamp, pin backs, buttons, and the mylar. And of course, your business name. So let's get started. I photocopied some of my original artwork. I took pictures from when I did makeup for my boyfriend on Halloween when he was different characters. I used a picture of my mask. And you can use different types of ephemera. This is another piece of my original artwork. And I was playing around with Procreate. I did the image of Frida Kahlo, more family images, and you can go online and purchase images in the exact size diameter that you need for your buttons. I ordered a model number 125, which is a 1.25 inch circle button maker. It was $249. It's about $33 shipping charge. It does weigh quite a bit. There was about $31 in tax and an additional $48 for another complete set of the shell, which is the front of the button, the mylar, and the pin back. Now, it did come with a sample of 20 or 25 buttons, but those I flew through and figured out all the mistakes and what I was doing wrong. With this easy 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, you will not have to waste any buttons like I did. Your button maker arrives ready to use. So I like to set up all of my buttons, the front shell, the mylar, an image, and of course the pin back. The bottom wheel of your button machine rotates back and forth. This part is called the pickup dial. It sucks up your image on the inside, and then you turn it and prepare for your pin back to go in the crimp die, where it presses the pin back into the cavity of the shell, where all 4 pieces are combined together. When placing your back piece into the crimp die, always make sure that the little curly part right here is always on the right. Right there. It is so important. And the point of the pin will be pointed left. I like to set up my 4 components in the 1, 2, 3, 4 that I'm going to be using them. The shell goes into the pickup dial. The image faces you straight on. I'm going to have to move the camera, so pardon that. I'm not a camera person, I'm an artist. So, okay, let's get the camera straight. Sorry for the little wiggly there. And that little crossbar right here is always straight. Okay, let's focus. Sorry about that. Let's recap. We put our shell in the pickup dial. We put our image, our mylar. It's a very thin, clear piece of plastic. Make sure if you have any pets that you don't have any dog hair, cat hair. This stuff attracts it like crazy. So we have our pin back. We're going to keep that little curly, tiny part to the right. And we are going to set it just like this inside the crimp dial, right there. So this is how it should look. Number 1, shell. Number 2, image. Number 3, mylar. Number 4, pin back. And 5, curly right, to make sure that little curly part right there is all the way to the right. This machine comes pre-oiled, so just be aware of that. And we are going to turn this little wheel all the way to the left. Sorry about my camera stand foot in the way, but it generally swings really easy, just like that. Now it should be perfectly straight, exactly like this. Reach up and press the handle toward you. Super easy to press down. So what's happening is the shell, the image, and the mylar are all being compressed together and pushed up into that little compartment called the upper die, which is the center circle. So we put them in the pickup die, which is on the left, and then into the crimp die. Now we swing it under the upper die. It's not as confusing as it sounds. So let's take the arm and press it toward us. And I'm doing this with one hand while holding the camera. That's how easy it is. Even a child can use this machine with adult supervision. Look at that. You can see your project immediately finished. Double check the edges on the underside to make sure that it grasps all pieces together, and you have immediate gratification. You could put your button on and wear it right now. So basically, after watching so many videos and I couldn't figure out how to work it from everyone else's video, I decided to make one. Maybe I was slow and I couldn't figure it out, but guess what? I figured it out. It's super easy, and I would totally recommend buying one. Let's go through this again. You put your shell in, you choose your image, you place the mylar on top of the image, and I added extra words. You don't want to get your pictures and your words too thick, by the way. And then you put your pin back into the right side there. Also, the base of the machine has where you could screw it to a hardwood surface or table, and it wouldn't be jiggly. Now, I have even put sage and tobacco and sweetgrass and a little part of a feather inside of the pin. So if you have a dried flower, like I said with the other words, you don't want to make it too thick, but a flower petal is perfect to press in there. Oh, look at that. Look, that's my son. I can't stress enough to make sure that the mylar and your image and everything is sandwiched nicely together. You don't want any sharp edges poking your customer. So number 1, the shell. Number 2, the image. Number 3, the mylar. Number 4, the pin back. And it goes exactly like this. Make sure every component is pressed in. Turn the wheel, pull down the handle, and then we're going to lift and turn the other part in. There we go. Press down again, and voila, you have your image. Double check everything and then continue. So I was happy to figure out the easiest way. 1, put your shell in. 2, your image, 3, your Mylar, 4, your pin back, and if you want to say 5 as a little curly part. And if I would have known that in the beginning, I wouldn't have made so many mistakes. So this is what it looks like sideways. I hope that doesn't make you dizzy. And that's it. It's a very easy, fun, rewarding machine. Turn the dial in the back, press down. You're going to turn it all the way again, press firmly down, and you're in the button making business. I have sold so many buttons on Etsy, and it paid for the machine 3 times over. Just think of all of the ideas or images that you could use, you know, vintage family pictures. Make sure that you make a color photocopy of it. Try not to use an original photo. Also, I feel like an original photo might be a little bit too thick. I have some wonderful ephemera pieces that are vintage that I made some really cool buttons out of, but of course I did make a color copy of it. And this is a great way to recycle magazines or old books, and always test on a practice page before you start using a really good image. You might have to double up, like put a piece of paper underneath a magazine since a magazine is super thin. So let's look at some of the buttons that I made of my artwork and my kids, my daughter, my son-in-law, grandson. I took some positive words and I did double up on it. I tore the image, took a piece of black cardstock, put the words on top, lightly put a little bit of glue stick because you don't want it too thick. If it's bumpy, it will show through the Mylar. Or you can purchase downloadable positive sayings through Etsy to the size of your button maker. Now, this is how I prepare some of mine for thank yous. For instance, sometimes when I'm selling a smudge kit, I will make a special little sage button. I try not to go thicker than this because I want everything sealed inside of the Mylar. Now, on positive sayings, I will glue them on black cardstock and then cut them out, and then I will glue them on a scrapbook piece of paper or a thin sheet of magazine paper. If you don't have a paper punch, you can buy a circle stencil. I found mine at Hobby Lobby for about $5 or $6. It's less if you have a coupon. And then I went to the dollar store and bought some foam paper like this in different colors and added my sticker label. And then I put it in a card cellophane bag, and that's how I sell them. And I look forward to hearing about how you package yours and how many you sell, because I know you're going to sell a lot. Start with the family images. Everybody loves to see themselves in photos as cool gifts, as party favors, stocking stuffers, you name it, holiday items. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Good luck with your button making business and have a happy day. Bye.